Hey, good morning to you guys. A very big change. The whole feeling around here has changed. You know, this morning we were with you. We were talking about the excitement leading up to the Belmont Stakes. Certainly there's still excitement for other horses now as they try to make the win for this. But in regards to the Triple Crown hopeful, I'll have another. It appears that has now ended. We're standing right now outside the special barn where all 12 of the horses had been staying. Now, early this morning, we understand from the trainer, Doug O'Neill, he had taken I'll Have Another out onto the track earlier than usual. Normally, every morning, the horses have 30 minutes. A special 30 minutes that they put aside for these horses to keep them away from any of the other horses that might be racing on Saturday so they can have their own time on the track. And that is usually where I'll Have Another spends its time. Today, though, they didn't do that. They brought him out a little bit earlier. We have some video from that run that I want to share with you now so you can see I'll Have Another. It appears that the horse is doing just fine as he's making his way along the track there. We understand that he made one trip around the track kind of jogging, another one galloping. Lava Man by his side as usual. Consider him his Apollo Creed to the Rocky that is I'll Have Another. But everything looked fine this morning. As of now, we're hearing that everything has now changed. Apparently, he pulled a tendon. This, according to Doug O'Neill, the trainer for I'll Have Another. He's getting ready to give a press conference now. I want to bring you back live again and show you how they're all setting up for this. Again, the barn is set up right here. Further this way, you see the gaggle of reporters that have come here. We arrived just when we got word that this was about to happen. I can tell you that we were probably the first or second people to get here, and this is just crowded now with, I can't even tell you how many reporters and photographers and still photographers lined up here waiting for all of this to take place. It's just a few minutes away before it happens. We are going to be bringing it to you live, but you can understand that this is a major event happening now. The big question, of course, now is if I'll Have Another is out, who is in? Who's going to be the favorite? There's different talk about that, but as of now, it looks like I'll Have Another is not going to be racing in the Belmont Stakes tomorrow. Waiting officially for word from trainer Doug O'Neill, who's expected to come to the microphone here. We're also going to be hearing from J. Paul Redham from Sunset Beach in Los Angeles, of course, the owner of I'll Have Another. He's going to be talking about it. I'm going to bring in Kent Taylor. He is from our affiliate in Louisville. You were there during the Kentucky Derby. You saw I'll Have Another make that incredible win. You saw what it was like. Can you tell us what you're feeling now as a sports reporter out of Louisville?
You know, and like we talked with Dale Romans, who's from Louisville, who's the trainer of Dullahan, who will be the favorite now in Belmont Stakes 2044. He said it's kind of devastating. It's deflating because we've been waiting for so long, and so many of the people assembled here have been here before for one of these things. I was here in 2008 when Big Brown had his shot, and it seemed like kind of a coronation. Everybody assumed that he was going to win the Triple Crown. It hasn't happened since 1978, and now, you know, deflating again as we'll have to wait at least one more year.
It's funny, as you're saying that deflating, we're starting to see the clouds roll in a little bit. Kent, this is kind of interesting to have the two of us here because we've got, you know, me from Los Angeles talk about I'll Have Another and how excited we are to have him out there for this Triple Crown. A lot of people excited about a Triple Crown, but now you've got the one who could be the winner of the entire race tomorrow.
Yeah, well, Dullahan from Louisville, and I was just talking with Darren Rogers, who's the PR guy at Churchill Downs. He brought the Triple Crown trophy, which they actually keep at Churchill Downs, haven't handed out since 1978. He brought it here this week. They were hoping to give it away tomorrow, but as I said, they'll wait at least one more year. And, you know, it's all the different stories. I was working on a story as we got word of this press conference. The sire of I'll Have Another, Flower Alley, is at a farm in Kentucky, Three Chimneys Farm. And the man that bred his sire was killed in a plane crash in Lexington in 2006. And his family came in from New Mexico just to see the sire of this horse. That's how far-reaching this can be in this game. And you know, now, again, we're just going to have to wait and see. And, of course, we'll see exactly what they say. Apparently, it is a tendon injury. I was just told that Dr. Bramlage from Rood and Riddle, the clinic in Lexington, he is here, has examined the horse, and will talk to us following this press conference.
Wonderful. Kent Taylor with us from WAVE, our affiliate in Louisville. Feels like starting to get a little quiet. I think they may be getting ready again for the press conference to happen. We have not seen the trainer, Doug O'Neill, make his way through here. I don't know if he's inside the barn right now, guys, or if he is going to be arriving here shortly for this press conference. He's the one that decided to call it. The New York Racing Association joined in, set out a release announcing that this was about to happen. So now we're just waiting to hear word about all of it. And Kent made some good points. And as we've been out here, we've been talking about different stories and talking to different people. This morning, even, we after I'll Have Another went out for his run, we talked to his masseuse, a guy named that they call Thumper, who showed us, you know, how he does it and how he feels the horse. And he was even saying that earlier today that he had given I'll Have Another a little massage, and that he seemed to feel very good and very strong and a lot of energy. He said that he seemed to be talking a lot as he was in there with him. So we're very anxious and eager to see what Doug O'Neill has to say about what has actually happened here.
Yeah,
John, I'll chime in again. You mentioned they had tried something new here with this barn, all 12 horses in one barn. They had closed the track from 8:30 to 8:45 every morning just for the Belmont horses to be on the track. And the reason they did that was last week, I'll Have Another was here, almost got run into by a loose horse. And so they said, we're going to take out any kind of impediments. Well, it was interesting because he's gone out at 8:30 every morning. He's had pretty hearty gallops. He did that at Churchill Downs as well in preparation for the Derby, and also at Baltimore in preparation for the Preakness. But this morning, he went around just with his pony, Lava Man. He did not gallop, and he went out at 5:30, not at 8:30. So that was kind of got some people talking. And you mentioned you talked to Larry Jones, Thumper, his chiropractor, and we talked to Jack Sisterson, the assistant trainer, afterwards, and he said that was just they were trying to get him some extra rest. So who knows what they knew at that point, but apparently it came back, didn't look great. The veterinarians looked at him, and as valuable as this horse is now, a winner of the Kentucky Derby, a winner of the Preakness, even though with the Triple Crown hanging in the balance, they don't want to take any chances that he could injure himself further should he try to run here tomorrow.
Very true. Alicia, Mike, I think you guys had a question?
No, we were just going to talk about the Cinderella story here. The fact that I'll Have Another, purchased for $11,000 a couple of years ago by an exercise rider named Victor Davila in Florida, who planned to train him and break him and then sell him at 2 years old for a hefty profit, which he did. Sold to Doug O'Neill for $35,000 at 2 years old. And what's interesting about this is he bought him for Paul Redham, the owner. And Paul Redham, the person who had underbid Paul Redham, actually came back to him and offered him $60,000 at the auction, or actually to Doug O'Neill, who was at the auction, and Redham turned him down.
Turned him down flatly.
And nobody ever expected him to be what he became, but wow, that was fate playing its role there, and just a sad ending today. At least we know it's precautionary.
We talked to Dennis O'Neill, Doug's brother, is the actual guy that makes those purchases, and he said when he saw I'll Have Another there in Florida, he said that he was average when it came to running, but he said that the gallop looked phenomenal, and that's what he really focused in on, and that's why they wanted the horse. He said when they brought the horse, really he had no idea how it was going to fare. He calls it just luck that it has come as far as it has. He says that he spent $500,000 on horses before, and that he thought for sure that's the one that is going to bring the next big Triple Crown, and it ended up being one of the worst horses they ever had. So he doesn't really know what it is about I'll Have Another that made him so great. But today, certainly, as we wait to hear from Team O'Neill and how they're feeling today, there's a lot of people who are feeling the heartbreak, guys.
Yeah, John, the time of the jog this morning, earlier than it has been over the last 3 weeks, so that's speculative in itself. And then we have, Doug O'Neill, who left Belmont without talking to the media. That was deemed unusual. And then the owner, Paul Redham, wasn't available to the media. And these guys are pretty media-friendly. So are folks out there saying these were early indicators that something was wrong?
Yeah, there's some speculation about that, but, as I was saying, as we heard from other members of Team O'Neill, they were saying that they wanted to get him out there extra early this morning. It could be the way they're spinning it, but they said they wanted to get him out there early this morning because they wanted him to have a little extra rest, saying that he had been working for so hard to do so well for tomorrow that they wanted him out there by himself with Lava Man early this morning so that he wouldn't get, too revved up with all the other horses when the rest of the Belmont horses came out this morning. So now we're just waiting to see, official word on what has happened here.
And as disappointing as this scratch is, those in the horse racing community would say this is preventative. This is a precautionary move so that they don't end I'll Have Another's career.
Yeah, that's a big question about it too. Is this the type of injury that would do that? The hope obviously is no. This morning we spoke to Mark Verge, who's the CEO of Santa Anita, and he's told us that after watching the run this morning, he was with us maybe 2 hours after I'll Have Another was out on the track. He said he looked great. He seemed strong. He said Doug O'Neill was feeling great about everything. So what happened between that time and this time, we really don't know just yet. But Mr. Verge was talking about what was next for I'll Have Another. All excited about a possible Triple Crown, and then possibly later in November, the Breeders' Cup coming to Santa Anita. They wanted to see another win there too, a little Grand Slam. I apologize, I can't see over the reporters to see if we're getting close to this press conference. But I think, can we play the video again from I'll Have Another from this morning? Again, it was a 5:30 this morning when he was out there with Lava Man out on the track. He went apparently 2 laps around it, one going a little bit fast and once just kind of galloping. That's how they do their exercise through the morning. Right after that, they normally go and take a little bath. We've seen photos in the New York Daily Post this morning, a beautiful shot of I'll Have Another getting a bath. It looks like he's smiling and having a good time with all that water. And then after that, that's when Thumper steps in and does does the massaging, and he was getting ready to do it again tonight, as he told us, around 8 o'clock local time. They were going to give him another little massage just to get him ready and make him feel good for tomorrow's race. And then the other question that we have right now is the jockey, Mario Gutierrez. Of course, he's a rookie through all of this, just really started racing in January of this year when he joined the California circuit out of Canada, 25 years old. Today, in fact, this afternoon around 5 o'clock, 5:40, he was supposed to be in a race, the Brooklyn Stakes, happening later this afternoon. That was going to be his first time actually racing around the track here. They wanted to get him on a horse, not I'll have another, but another one, to get him on the track so you can get a feel for it, the length of it and what it feels like. So big questions now. We're just waiting to find out what kind of answers we're going to get.